This is George Benson, American jazz fusion guitarist, singer, and songwriter. If you're looking for somebody with unbelievable guitar chops, if you're looking for an artist that can fuse jazz with R&B, with pop, and if you're looking for an artist that can scat while playing the exact same lines on their guitar while soloing, you came to the right place. This video will examine the life and music of George Benson. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the life and music of George Benson. George Washington Benson, born March 22nd, 1943, American jazz fusion guitarist, singer, and songwriter. He began his professional career at the age of 19 as a jazz guitarist. A former child prodigy, Benson came to prominence in the 1960s playing soul jazz with Jack McDuff and others. He then launched a successful solo career alternating between jazz, pop, R&B singing, and scat singing. His album, Breezin, was certified triple platinum, hitting #1 on the Billboard album chart in 1976. His concerts were well attended through the 1980s, and he still has a large following. Benson has won 10 Grammy Awards and has been honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Benson was born and raised in the Hill District of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. At the age of 7, he first played the ukulele in a corner drugstore for which he was paid a few dollars. At age 8, he played guitar in an unlicensed nightclub on Friday and Saturday nights. At age 9, he started to record. Benson attended and graduated from Shenley High School. As a youth, he learned how to play straight-ahead instrumental jazz during a relationship performing for several years with organist Jack McDuff. At the age of 21, he recorded his first album as leader, The New Boss Guitar, featuring McDuff. Benson's next recording was It's Uptown with the George Benson Quartet. Benson followed it up with the George Benson Cookbook. Miles Davis employed Benson in the mid-1960s, featuring his guitar on his 1968 Columbia release, Miles in the Sky, before Benson went on to Verve Records. Benson then signed with Creed Taylor's jazz label, CTI Records, where he recorded several albums with jazz heavyweights guesting to some success mainly in the jazz field. By the mid to late 1970s, as he recorded for Warner Brothers Records, a whole new audience began to discover Benson. On 1976's Breezin, Benson sang a lead vocal on the track This Masquerade, a song written by Leon Russell. Benson's version, notable also for the lush, romantic piano intro and solo by George Dalto, became a huge pop hit and won a Grammy Award for Record of the Year. The rest of the album is instrumental, including his rendition of the 1975 Jose Feliciano's composition, Affirmation. In 1976, Benson toured with soul singer Minnie Riperton, who had been diagnosed with terminal breast cancer earlier that year, and in addition appeared as a guitarist and backup vocalist on Stevie Wonder's song Another Star from Wonder's album Songs in the Key of Life. He also recorded the original version of The Greatest Love of All for the 1977 Muhammad Ali biopic The Greatest, which was later covered by Whitney Houston as Greatest Love of All. During this time, Benson recorded with the German conductor Klaus Ogerman. The live take of On Broadway, recorded a few months later from the 1978 release Weekend in LA, also won a Grammy. He also worked with Freddie Hubbard on a number of his albums throughout the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. The Quest record label, a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, run by Quincy Jones, released Benson's breakthrough pop album Give Me the Night, produced by Jones. Benson made it into the pop and R&B top 10 with the song Give Me the Night, written by former Heatwave keyboardist Rod Temperton. He had many hit singles such as Love All the Hurt Away, Turn Your Love Around, Inside Love, Lady Love Me, 2020, Shiver, and Kisses in the Moonlight. More importantly, Quincy Jones encouraged Benson to search his roots for further vocal inspiration, and he rediscovered his love for Nat King Cole, Ray Charles, and Donny Hathaway in the process, influencing a string of further vocal albums into the 1990s. Despite returning to his jazz and guitar playing most recently, this theme was reflected again much later in Benson's 2000 release, Absolute Benson, featuring a cover of one of Hathaway's most notable songs, The Ghetto. Benson accumulated 3 other platinum LPs and 2 gold albums. In 1990, Benson was awarded an honorary doctorate of music from the Berklee College of Music. In 2009, Benson was recognized by the National Endowment of the Arts as a Jazz Master, the United States' highest honor in jazz. Benson stopped touring internationally at the start of 2024 due to ill health, canceling a series of UK concerts that summer. Benson has been married to Johnny Lee since 1965 and has 7 children. Benson describes his music as focusing more on love and romance due to his commitment to his family and religious practices, with Benson being a Jehovah's Witness. Benson has been a resident of Englewood, New Jersey. On a personal note, I still remember the first time I heard George Benson. I can still remember where I was and what I was doing. Let me set the scene for you here. Early 80s, spring break. 4 guys get into a car near Toronto, Ontario, Canada, driving to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for spring break, and we were looking to get into as much trouble as we could, but not too much trouble, you know what I mean? Now you had 4 young men here that loved music, and frantically the previous 2 weeks we were trying to each put together 3 mixed tapes that we would play on the stereo system all the way down for this 24-hour drive. Now at that point in time, the stereo system in the car actually cost more than the car. So that tells you where our heads were at. We loved jazz, we loved music, and it was a very explorative time in our life. Now there were a couple rules in the car. Now it was a 24-hour drive, there was 4 of us. Each of us were going to drive 3 hours at a time, then switch off to the next person, then we would have a second 3-hour driving stint. And after we had done our 2 stints, 6 hours times 4, we'd be in Fort Lauderdale. So we thought. We would only stop for gas and go to the washroom. I had enough food. I had 3 loaves of zucchini bread with extra walnuts. That was my request from my mom, and she had made me these zucchini breads, and it was supposed to kind of last me for the first few days anyways. So we depart at sunrise out of Toronto, Canada, get to the border, straight down I-75, and it was one of the best times of my life for 24 hours just listening to music, and each of us was trying to kind of outdo the other guys in the car, giving something new and innovative and something that we really wanted to kind of wow the other guys with, something maybe there's something they hadn't heard before. And I just remember waking up, we were in Florida, sun was coming up, and the guy driving the car, I can still think that he put on his 3rd tape, popped it in, those old Maxell tapes, they were either 60, 90, or 120s, and he popped in the tape, and the song Breezin from George Benson's Breezin album came on just as we are about to come to a causeway going up over in Fort Lauderdale, coming out to the beach. It was the perfect song at the perfect time of day, at the perfect time in my life for me to be exposed to George Benson with the song Breezin, and that intro with the flutes and the orchestration Klaus had done with those strings and that groove just as we went over the causeway, and the sun was just coming up, and we just came out to the beach, and we cruised the beach there, the coast. We finished the song Breezin', and then the song This Masquerade came on. and we were cruising the coast. I hadn't seen the ocean before, never been out of the country before, loving life at a very kind of explorative time in life. And when that second song, This Masquerade, came on, and I heard this guy, George Benson, scatting along with his guitar solo, I had never heard anything like it before. It blew my mind, and those two songs on that morning in Fort Lauderdale, coming over the causeway and cruising the coast in Florida, listening to the song Breezin' and This Masquerade was a high point. George Benson, unbelievable. You are part of the playlist of my life as a young adult. Loved it. Thank you very much, George. I hope you enjoyed the video on one of my favorite musical artists, his unbelievable guitar chops, his ability to fuse pop with jazz, George Benson. If you've got an artist or band you'd like featured on this channel, pop it in the comments section. I'll make another video. Thanks for stopping by. Rock on.